Whoa, it's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. I'm at Owl's Little League game, 5th game of the season. Got about half an hour before it starts, so I thought I would chime in with you guys. And links down below. Order some t-shirts, get some artwork. We got to generate capital for the life's chaos right now. But order out of chaos, right? Order out of chaos. I was tripping out on the animals this morning, right? So I went out and was taking care of all the animals this morning, and there was like a weird. Normally they're like all like up and ready and like, where's the food? And like, where's the food? Yo, where's the food? Today, the chickens are always the same. They're always like, where's the food? But the hooved creatures, the cows and the goats, were just like sitting there, like lounging. And I was like, what's up? And they were super not interested. And I was like, so weird. What's up with you guys? And I tend to think that the animals are an indicator of something. You know, I remember when I was up in Santa Cruz, California for the Bay Series quake. Remember in the 80s, the big earthquake that rocked San Francisco. And I remember all the dogs going crazy that morning. Like every dog in Santa Cruz was barking that day. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I distinctly recalled it. And then, you know, like 5 or 6 hours later, the big one happened. And so I tend to notice animal anomalies. And so I was wondering what was up with the animals this morning. And I was like, I think it's this whole weird thing as everyone's been lulled back to sleep, dude. Lulled back to sleep, because if you really look at it, you shouldn't be asleep right now. You should be actually up in arms and super like preparing yourself for the next phase of this whole thing. Because, you know, the pressures never come off. I mean, in my lifetime, it hasn't stopped since the big event at the beginning of the century, dude. The big event, you know what big event we're talking about. It's been nonstop, man. The psychological bombardment of accepting bad contracts across the board. And the psyop going on now is pretty multifaceted. I will say is it's pretty hard to keep your head above water with what's going on. But I think if you hang on to the core principles, right? The number one core principle, thou shalt not kill, right? Thou shalt not kill. And you realize that if you just stick on that one thing, right? All your other core principles kind of file in right behind it, you know. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, you know, because that's thou shalt not kill is like the top one, right? Because that embodies all of the forgiveness and understanding defense and personal space and all of these interesting human realities that we have to like work out together down here with spiritual principles, right? But you got to get to the spiritual truth of that we're all without God and a guiding set of principles, we're just civilized savages, man. We are. It's just like the beginning of 2001 Space Odyssey with them banging each other over the head with the stick while there's the monolith or the obelisk or whatever it is there, you know? The juxtaposition of primitive destructive energy with the ultimate symbol of advanced technology, right? Intergalactic, shape-shifting, multifacetedness with just this kill, right? And the hustle's just like super obvious. And I think that, you know, people constantly bet on cult of personalities. People are constantly betting on somebody else is going to save them. When really there's only one way to be saved, and it's an internal path to a spiritual forgiveness. And so they put their faith in people in suits and ties and dresses and, you know, fancy dining cars, dude. And those will always fail you. And so here we are, contracts are being written and people don't want to acknowledge that they got played. Like, played in the hardest way ever. And ultimately, the contracts they're writing right now are going to come back and serve them up. And maybe the animals just laying in the barnyard were me. I don't know, dude. As I moved through this time, I realized that, like, people have written contracts, bad contracts, with entities that have their demise on their balance sheets, right? Because if you understand the human farm, right? The different human farms and what is all the contractual paperwork we are stuck with upon our exiting of the womb, you will understand that we're the currency, and our currency is constantly being tamped down by contractual obligations that we knowingly will put us into fear, lack, misunderstanding, distrust, polarization. And you wouldn't sign those contracts if you kind of held on to these higher principles, primarily thou shalt not kill, and let all the other ones cascade down from there. I find it to be a time to, like, get your ship into order. And I've been saying that for years, dude. But for real, get your ship into order. Because I do sense an interesting squeeze coming, not because it hasn't always been that way. It's just that these vast quantities of people that 4 months ago or 5 months ago were all rah about taking control of their destiny are just like the farm animals this morning. They're just laying there, just chewing their cud, like, la-di-da, someone's coming to feed me. You know what I mean? Like, they are. It's fascinating when you have a bunch of animals, like they're sitting there like, yeah, you're gonna feed me, so whatever, dude. You're not gonna show up, and that lulls them into, like, they could break out any given time. Like, there's plenty of food on either side of the fence. Dude, they could fully just ram the door and bend the thing and get out, dude. They're cows. But they don't, because they know that eventually one of us is going to show up. And I think that's right now what's going on with the I'm a wishful thinker, right? I thought that maybe, again, I wasn't delusional enough to think it would actually be. I always just, best case scenario. I thought that maybe on January 20th or November 5th or whatever, the people that wanted this change or make America hustled again would get their own ship in order. Again, is thinking that people at the elites at the top of the scam hustle American overlay of corporate America were on their side. When that's always been the game, is to get you not to take care of yourself, to get you not to organize your own yard, your own room, your own house, your own spiritual self, and take control of yourself first. It's again, that's why it's a spiritual thing, man, is because at the end of the day, you're free will, right? You're solely in charge of your spiritual situation. And if you don't make the effort to find the truth that God is real and God loves you, well, you'll fall for anything, man, because you're deceiving yourself, right? Because of the trinkets and all of that stuff. You're just sitting around waiting for me to show up with your hay and grain and open the gate and deliver it to you. With that reality, I'm in total charge. I can have a trailer come up and take you to the slaughterhouse. There's nothing that's the weird mentality. So yeah, I saw it this morning and I was like, oh, this is a metaphor for maybe what's coming down. Maybe this all, again, is on the scope of history, dude. It doesn't it's just all whatever. It just is. But on the immediate, one day, it's eventually the house of cards is going to come tumbling down. And I would just venture to say that the people who you think are trying to prop up the house of cards are the weakest link right now. And it behooves you to act accordingly. Again, I should have said this in the beginning. Spring's here. It's time to take control of your food as much as you can. As much as you can, you should be eating from your own reality. And you too can grow food. You too can have a tomato plant growing in your living room, dude. Right? So I don't know. I gotta go watch the Little League game, dude. But I don't know. Get some t-shirts, man. Get some art links down below, dude. Crowdfunded, dude. I think we all need it. We ought to keep the energy moving. That's what I said. And we are the currency, and the way we exchange the currency is with their weird, fictitious currency exchange protocol. So yeah, that's how we do it. But the most important way to exchange the currency is person to person. Use the name tags. Get your spiritual alignment right, and let's do this thing. All right, it's the Illusion signing off.